So the brand new 1.07 update for Modern Warfare has already gone live. The download is approximately 8.5 gigabytes. I'm not sure if it's going to be the exact same on all platforms, but that's what it was when I got it on PlayStation. We already have patch notes. I'm going to go ahead and read through all of them. If you do enjoy the video, feel free to hit that like button. Brand new around here, would like to find your way back for more Call of Duty content, go ahead and make sure you do subscribe with notifications on. So they've gone ahead and already added the 2 brand new maps within the game. We have that Krovnik farmland, which is available in Ground War. And then we have that shoot house, which is available in multiplayer. Pretty sure that's a 6v6 map that is 3 lanes, so it's going to be a lot similar to the map we've had over the previous years. On top of that, you're going to get full access to Shoot House as a 24/7 playlist, which is going to include a mixture of Team Deathmatch, Domination, Kill Confirmed, and Headquarters. So I'm going to go ahead and go through the rest of the different patch notes. There's a bunch of general fixes. There were some back-end fixes to prevent crashes and improve stability across all the platforms. Included dev errors and various performance fixes. There's also a fix for a few bugs where some streaks and field upgrades were able to be flown out of bounds without penalty. So they went ahead and fixed that among other out of bounds issues. They also fixed a bug where players were being killed by an enemy with a variable zoom scope would not see the zoom function in the kill cam. So you're getting mixed signals. You'd see it one way in the kill cam and you'd be like, how the heck did they hit me? But the person is actually zooming in. So they went ahead and fixed that. Fix for Semtex warning audio being heard at the same volume whether inside a building or outside. So I guess there was issues with the audio there. In Headquarters, players were able to place a tac insert and respawn when their team owned the point. This had been fixed. And that was an issue because obviously once you capture the hard point, you have a limited number of lives. Basically, if you die, you have to wait until the time's up to go ahead and respawn when you're on that defense and locking down the objective. They also went ahead and fixed various collision issues across the different maps, added UI that shows when XP events are active in the playlist menus. Sprint and tactical sprints are now back to speeds in the beta. And that's probably a very minor change. I didn't even really notice a huge difference. I just noticed that the game as a whole is played way slower than it was in the beta. So I'm really glad that they made this change that hopefully seems like a buff to movement speed, and hopefully we'll see more movement on the maps. They also implemented a fix for a bug where the progress of the bomb defusal can be seen by the enemy team that planted the bomb, which is a big no-no in Search and Destroy. You should only be able to visibly see the player disarming that bomb. You shouldn't be able to just see the meter moving and go, okay, they're on the bomb, let me go ahead and take them out. So a good fix there. Fix for a bug that revealed players to UAVs when they fired their weapons, even if they had ghost and a suppressor. Currently in the game, I thought that was intentional. If you fired your weapon with the suppressor and the UAV was active, you'd pop up on the mini map and the compass, but it does appear like it was a bug, so the suppressor should still be able to keep you off that mini map when you fire your weapon. They also went ahead and fixed another issue where if multiple personal radars were in an area, it would only show one player that specific ping, and that probably led to a lot of those times where it was like, man, the personal radar is kind of trash. It doesn't even show you where someone's at because you'll get killed by someone, see that they don't have ghosts, but they obviously weren't pinged because one of your teammates received that ping. So now let's go ahead and get into a few of the things that they actually purposely went ahead and changed. The riot shield, they fixed an issue where throwing knife and a thermite were causing the shield to go on the player's back when thrown. We've also fixed an issue where explosive blast damage wasn't working consistently. We'll continue to tune the riot shield in future updates. So they're going to go ahead and do that. Claymores, deadening an enemy's claymore with bullets is now non-lethal when at full health. So that sounds like a huge nerf to claymores, and they also went ahead and reduced the damage width and the trigger width, so it should be a lot easier to get by those claymores without actually feeling like you're one shot. So for battle chatter, they removed the ability for enemies to hear when you've been calling out the opposing team or when you're saying reloading, which is pretty cool. We've also adjusted enemy callouts so they never from your operator. Enemy callouts now use a more restricted cone at the hip and even more restricted in ADS when calculating whether or not to trigger. We'll continue to monitor that. That's good. They just went ahead, fine-tuned it a little bit better now that it's in the player's hands. So when you hear a call out, it should be a little bit more accurate. Mounting. So it looks like mounting received a slight nerf. Now you'll just have a little bit more recoil, which is a huge benefit in my opinion, because if you're getting lasered across the map by someone mounting and not moving, that is not a good thing. They should have to control the recoil at least a little bit. So I'm really glad for that change because it should increase the skill gap just a little bit. Now with perks, EOD now clamps damage to a non-lethal amount, assuming the player is at full health. which is what it should do anyways. And I think that's specifically for those little mines that blow up, and sometimes you will get blown up by a claymore. So overall, the adjustments to EOD should allow you to basically tank that damage. Lighting, continue to update player visibility in dark windows and dark areas. Another huge plus. I've seen several gameplays back to back, frame by frame, and you can literally not see the person shooting at you. And then when you look at the kill cam, they see you plain as day. So it's good that they're working on that, and it was something that they continue to work on. Next up, it looks like they tackled a part of the footsteps. It's a little confusing. I'll go ahead and read it, but it just sounds like they're nerfing the footstep volume, and they're going to continue to work on different things with crouching and ADS speed. But it says that we've gone ahead and increased the occlusion percentage to filter footstep sounds behind geometry and adjusted the footstep volume at a distance. We have another large footstep change coming in the next update, which will make crouch and ADS movement significantly quieter. Stay tuned. So like I said, it sounds like they went ahead and reduced the footstep volume, and they're going to continue to tweak it going forward. It also looks like they went ahead and fixed some of the challenging issues, fixed a bug where the infiltrator challenge was not tracking properly, fixed for launchers not giving XP when shooting down kill streaks, fixed a bug where planting or defusing 5 bombs in cyber attack or S&D was now tracking properly. Also, camo challenges for kills after reload didn't give the player enough time to acquire the kill, so they went ahead and increased that time, which is a huge plus. That's probably the most annoying challenges for the rifles when you need to get a kill immediately after reload. Sometimes you have to basically do it immediately, not miss a bullet, pre-firing and everything. If you didn't do that, it wasn't tracking. So I'm glad they went ahead and fixed that, because that was a huge issue. They went ahead and also fixed a bug for where you would acquire XP to reach the next rank was higher than the value needed. So now we get into the weapon balancing. The 7.25 shotgun, they said increase to ADS and hip spread, reduce the damage range. So you got to be closer, and then you have a larger spread. So you're going to have to make sure you aim down sight and you're a little bit more accurate. We'll see how that one balances out. They'll probably need to nerf it again. The M4A1 assault rifle, reduced damage range, small recoil increase, so they went ahead and nerfed the M4. So the Kilo is probably going to be a better bet, or the AK. We'll kind of see how those get balanced out. Assault rifles, increase hip spread to reduce effectiveness up close, less damage at long range for full auto 5.56 rifles. So we're going to have to check that one out. And luckily for this one, when I went ahead and did ranking all my rifles, I went ahead and got all those damage and ranges. So I'm going to be able to compare that with whatever they went ahead and changed for when I actually did my ranking rifles video, which included the best class setups for each of those. It looks like SMGs get a little bit of a buff. They increased overall movement speed. They increased movement speed while ADS. And then there was also a small reduction in sprint out time, which is really nice. Uzi SMG increased damage range, which is cool. MG34 LMG increased hip spread. I guess it was a little too easy to hit people without aiming down sight. Damage reduction, and then a small ADS slowdown. That's an overall nerf. M91 LMG increased the hip spread, damage range reduction, another nerf to the LMG. PKM, again, another nerf. They nerfed the hip fire spread as well as the damage. And then it looks for the pistols, they went ahead and increased the speed. As far as the overall movement goes, they went ahead and reduced the sprint out time and increased damage ranges, which is going to make some of those pistols probably a little bit overpowered. We're going to see a lot more of those in the meta, even though they do require just a little bit more skill. Crouch and prone no longer adjust recoil. In case you guys didn't know, in some scenarios, if you crouched while firing your weapon and aiming down sight, you'd have 10 times as much recoil or none at all. So they went ahead and just removed that completely. So you're going to have the same recoil regardless if you aim down sight, standing, crouch, or prone. So it looks like they also updated the Call of Duty League rule set. So when you go ahead and go into a private match, it makes it a little bit easier for those pro players to set up their matches. Cyber attack, they also went ahead and fixed the bug where players could lose their primary weapon, and then they were unable to see their view model after being revived by a teammate. Not good. Ground war now. So we fixed a bug where players would sometimes be unable to pick a spawn location. Good fix. Fixed a bug where attack inserts could cause a player to spawn in an enemy home base. Good fix there. And it looks like they did nothing else for ground war. It doesn't look like they went ahead and adjusted the spawn rate of tanks or the APCs. And they didn't nerf their damage. They didn't nerf their strength. They didn't really do anything else. It looks like that's all they did for ground war. Now when it comes to Spec Ops, it looks like they went ahead and fixed several issues that people were struggling with. I personally haven't even had a chance to touch it yet, but a lot of people are really struggling with how broken it is currently. It's like it wasn't play tested. So hopefully a lot of the changes we're going to talk about here will fix those issues. So it says pick up intel in the operations, explore Van Dansk to find additional backstory information on Verdansk and the operator. So it's just the story part of it. Fix for scoreboards displaying incorrect data, XP adjustments, and general backend fixes. Various fixes for out of bounds and parachute exploits. Respawn timer no longer stays on the screen after teammates are revived from bleed out. Fix for an issue with munitions were not usable after respawning via gunship. Fix for losing your weapons when picking up the core. Achievements can now be unlocked in CP. Fix for the issues where players could spawn with their weapons in a down state. Picked up munitions no longer carry over from match to match. Only the munitions you purchase with points will. When respawning via the gunship, you will no longer be given a tank role. Selecting an allegiance operator or an allegiance as your favorite faction will now properly assign the voice of the correct operator. Operator Headhunter fixed for a bug where players were not able to lock missiles onto the final boss helicopter. Operation Crosswind adjusted stealth for gameplay. And then Operation Paladin, they implemented a fix for a bug where there was no UI or indicator of where to go and how to finish the objective after defending the third arms crate. Fix for a bug where the default weapon was different than the weapon a player would hold if they were placed in last stand. And that's pretty much all they gave us. If you did enjoy the video, please do me that favor, hitting the like button. If you want to find your way back for more Call of Duty content, go ahead and make sure you do subscribe with notifications on. Appreciate all the support on the channel. Thank you for watching, and as always, have a great day.